Attention whore. Strap in, people. This is going to be a doozy. Well, totally not looking for attention, are you? I won't judge. I'm totally not judging now. Totally not judging. But slam poetry? Okay, the most degenerate form of poetry. Go on. Perform.
I get that it can be hard to understand people who physiologically need attention like others need oxygen.
Not necessarily. Sometimes you can understand their reasons. Sometimes they have a mental disability or mental problem that makes them want attention, crave attention. Sometimes they want something. Sometimes we might not know necessarily, so we can't understand. But most of the time, I think we kind of do. They want something from somebody or something, so they get attention. But, continue.
In our society, we value independence the way the media values Brad Pitt.
Media values Brad Pitt? Since when? He's a popular figure because he's an actor who's very good at what he does and has a lot of fans. Some of those fans happen to be in the media. And I don't think the media values him like we value independence. I assume you mean we don't value independence very highly. But in our societies, we value independence very highly, don't we? You know, independence from government interference and religious interference, etc., etc. Don't you think that's kind of the opposite of what you're saying? But hey, whatever. When it says it in your own constitutions, I don't know. Yeah, we don't value it highly. We value it as much as Brad Pitt, which is not very valuable. But then again, that could be very much highly valuable, because bear in mind, he is a well-known, well-respected actor.
Or quite ironically, plane crashes.
That made no sense. We don't value plane crashes at all. It makes the news because it's a horrible tragedy. That's a terrible analogy. Terrible, terrible analogy.
That whore, they shout as I walk through the hallways with my skirt hiked up so high, it's like a calling that my virginity is not like climbing up Mount Everest.
I'm sorry, but who in this day and age goes around shouting whores at people for wearing short skirts? As far as I know, it's only crazy people who will do that, and they're crazy. That's why they do it. You don't see normal, everyday people doing that anymore. You might have seen that 100 years ago. Hell, even maybe 70 years ago, 50 years ago maybe. But then again, the miniskirt was invented 50 years ago, so chances are they didn't. You're talking about something that rarely happens and doesn't really happen very much. Who are these people, by the way? And aren't you supposed to be about attention whores and not people who are just dressed normally? And what has this got to do with virginity? Maybe they're just being cunts to you. Maybe they're just trying to be horrible to you to get a rise out of you. You know, bullies. You know, people doing it for a laugh. Trolls. But hey, what do I know? What do I know? Just go ahead. Just give them more bait.
So no wonder the first time that I delved into the depths of a strange man's waistband was purely for that one dreaded word. Attention.
You're asserting a lot of things about people and society, and I don't think you quite have an idea what people think. I mean, to be honest, sex is attention. People have sex because they want that attention. That is both men and women. We want that attention from someone, don't we? We want that, you know, either the love from it or the high from it. And there's nothing wrong with that, unless, you know, you have problems or you're doing it in the wrong way. You know, you're just going around spreading diseases and stuff like that. But again, there's nothing inherently wrong with it.
Insecurity burst through the gates of hell and possessed me, consumed me, became me. My name, spelled worthless unless preceded by the words I love you. Every tick of the clock alone in my bed is a knife to the chest, endless, deadly.
So, you became insecure over people calling you names, people saying you're an attention whore. Is that what you're trying to say? I couldn't really understand the words you just said then, because it was a whole load of gobbledygook. And by the way, if you're making this poem, why are you so bothered about what they say? You're trying to say that you're not bothered about what they say. You know, just ignore them. Ignore them. Block them on Facebook or don't associate with these people. It's not rocket science. Do what you want. It's a free fucking Western world, or at least it was.
I was told that I was sexually assaulted because I said no, and he treated me like a magic 8-ball that you could just shake until he got the answer that he did know, but I'm not a magic 8-ball. I'm on the island of misfit toys being pushed against the drywall. You are playing with a toy that is broken, tears and all, because who wants me?
Now you're beginning to really annoy me. Really beginning to annoy me. You are beginning to sound like an attention whore, especially at the end of that sentence. Who said that to you? Who? Who thinks this other than the most crazy religious people, the most insane thinking people? Is it society that you're trying to say? Is it individuals? No, it's society, obviously. Society somehow thinks that you were raped because you said no. No, you were raped because the person happened to be a psychopath who didn't care about the law, who didn't care about you. But now you're making it as if you want attention? What the hell?
He did. For an hour.
That's not because people think you're an attention whore or anything. That's because he was a psychopath and he couldn't control his urges. But then again, isn't that what all you feminists think all men are like? So, what's worse? People thinking you are an attention-seeking person for this, that and the other, or thinking all men are potential rapists?
You can call me a coward. In that moment when I was suffocated by the greedy body on top of me, I gasped for air like refugees grasp for comfort, hope, and dreams. And in that moment,
I don't think the two scenarios are similar. You are getting raped in this story, in this poem. They're looking for freedom. That's not a very good analogy. Now, if they had compared themselves to you, that would have been a bit iffy, but you're doing it to them? It's just, this is all weird. And by the way, why would you be considered a coward? Nobody considers people who are victims of rape as cowards unless they happen to be men. Because as we know, all men can't be raped, only women can be raped. And the man obviously wanted it because he had an erection.
I could feel like I was wanted, validated, attractive.
What? So are you actually being raped or are you just having sex? I really don't know what's going on. You're beginning to really muddy the waters and just contradict yourself. How can you just say all these things and then say this? That just completely destroys your entire point. I mean, I can kind of understand it from a fantasy point of view, but you're telling this as if it actually happened. And I, for one, do not think this helps your argument whatsoever. This actually does make you look like you're looking for attention.
So I'm sorry if attention is iron and I'm anemic, self-control and I'm bulimic. I don't ask for your approval. It's an inhaler and I'm asthmatic.
So in order to justify you being someone who wants attention from everything and everyone and will get it at all costs, no matter what, to the point of making ridiculous things like you just said back then, it's meant to be like a drug to you, it's meant to be like you need it, it's horrible and all that. Are you basically saying that all attention whores are just people who are victims or something deep within inside, and not just people who will do anything for this, that or the other, you know, like Onision, is he now a victim? Is people like Lacey Green, people like Anita Sarkeesian, are they all now victims of this thing, this drug called attention, or some disorder? Because some of them aren't, some people are, and I do agree with you on that, but again, not all of them are victims.
How do you live in a body that's supposed to be yours when all you want is for someone to claim it, like Columbus or some damn conquistador?
Columbus was a governor of Hispaniola at some point, yes, but he wasn't a conquistador. He didn't conquer that. That was later on by other conquistadors. He wasn't a conquistador, actually. He was an explorer. But never mind. So what? You're a submissive? Is that what you're saying? You're someone who wants to be owned and dominated and stuff? Is that what you're trying to say? You're not making a lot of sense. You're just sounding whiny.
And you never know when enough is enough because, yeah, you have friends, but they say you only have you in the end. And that's fucking terrifying. I need to learn to love myself when it seems like no one else is verifying that I'm worthy of love on a daily basis, and it's agonizing.
They don't say that you'll never make true friends or anything. It's just saying that you will die alone, which a lot of people do. It's just a saying. It has nothing to do with calling you an attention whore or anything. It's nothing about that whatsoever. You're beginning to now compare other things that make no sense. And seriously, what is your argument here? That we shouldn't accuse people of being attention whores when they are? We shouldn't criticise these people because they're victims of some thing in their bodies, in their minds? Even though I will agree a minority probably are. You're not making sense.
How do you shout, "I'm needy, don't leave me"? When you cancel our plans, I get physically queasy. Attention is my crack, LSD and ecstasy, so what am I to do? Tell me!
Completely why I need this at this point. I have no sympathy for you. You're comparing yourself to rape victims and maybe you yourself got raped. I have no idea because I can't follow the narrative at all. Now you're saying that it's our fault for making you feel bad when it's you yourself making you feel bad for not getting attention because someone had to cancel something. Why don't you just go make your own fun? Go out with somebody else who's free. It's not rocket science. If you want it that badly, just go out and ask. Don't wait for them. But, you are the woman here.
Because I'm tired of tears stinging my eyes like hornets in a bedroom that feels like a tomb. What am I to do so that my only sense of self-worth is not limited to boys telling me what they want to do to me underneath the covers at night?
Get some therapy. Get some self-respect. Do something to build your confidence up. I don't know. Extracurricular activities. I think the therapist is most likely what you need. But then again, why are you saying all this is our fault, society's fault? What exactly are we doing? I'm confused.
Or in the bathroom at a fucking Applebee's. And the irony that the only friends that make you happy are the same people who can push you into a pit of fire for all eternity. Your skin bubbling and boiling from the heat when in reality, they didn't do much more than push you into a jacuzzi.
Now this is tonally everywhere. A joke? Really? I don't understand how we got from having sex in an Applebee's toilet to being pushed into a jacuzzi that feels like a lake of fire, and then basically attacking your friends for doing a joke that makes you feel bad, and then saying it was just a jacuzzi. What the flying fuck? Is this your fault or their fault? Please, I don't know what's going on. I think it's more your fault. You, like every other SJW, if you are one, and feminist, which you definitely are one, blame everybody else. It's not our fault, we're always the victim. None of this makes sense, people. I'm lost. Can someone please give me some advice on this?
Because you know somewhere in that fucked up brain of yours, with more cracks than a busted sidewalk, that they do care about you. No matter if their lives get in the way.
Is this just you not being able to handle being single? Is this really it? I don't even get this last bit. This whole last bit here is just ridiculous. That she would think that somebody's life would get in the way of being friends with her? What the fuck? What kind of selfishness is this? Jesus Christ.
But the solution is not as clear-cut as a 12-step program because the stairs are too steep to climb, or a daily pill to swallow because the only amount of medicine to cure the loneliness would be the whole bottle.
Well, fucking take it. Take the risk. Take the whole bottle. Get better. Would you rather be ill? Metaphorically speaking, of course. Would you rather be comfortable in yourself than not comfortable in yourself and not need anyone else? Doesn't make any sense, does it, people?
So this is to all my attention whores, all the girls who paint their faces with insecurities, all the boys who bench press their vulnerabilities, all the needy people who feel like charities.
I did not get the impression that this was aimed at men as well. The thing is, you can't help but be defined by the people you're with anyway. It's kind of a small part of what defines you. You can't just define yourself 100%. Where you come from, where you live, even if you don't come from that place, who you hang out with, what you are as a person, that defines you as, a human being. And you seem to not realise that humans are social and want the attention of other people. Sex is kind of wanting attention from someone, in a good way. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with bench pressing your vulnerabilities out, because that is a confidence builder. Men do get confidence from looking good. That's why they do it, and it helps them. It is a psychological drug that helps them. So there's nothing wrong with that. Are you saying that these people shouldn't do these things that do help? And be proud of being attention whores? Proud of being insecure? That doesn't make much sense to me, love.
Because I have faith that one day you will exist not only for your friends, family, and FDA to cast their approval, but you will walk onto others approved by you.
So don't seek the validation of others, validate yourself. Okay, that's an alright message, but your execution has been poor, love. You make it sound like trying to get the love of other people, the acceptance of other people, is wrong. It's not the way to feel validated about yourself. When really it helps with the validation of yourself. If you're loved by a lot of people and you feel that love, that does make you feel better. And I think these people who help you, these people who love you and respect you, want to be with you, are a positive influence. It's not a negative influence at all, and you've gone about it the wrong way. It's not quite feminazi, I guess, people, at the end of the day. It does sound a little bit, but that's because it was confusing and I didn't know what was going on, so I think I'll leave it there. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll see you later.